off the chain. Okay.
It's like herding cats.
Okay.
Obama.
Who wants it first? Because I got bad things to say about both of you.
Me.
Yeah?
Delay it on me. Yeah.
Okay. Listen up. Okay. You are weak, Lav.
Obama.
Okay. So it sounds like you have concepts in your head and formulations for these things that you have learned from people that you have a decent understanding of, but when you're like hardcore prodded, struggle to defend kind of some of these things that you
Because of my mother.
Hold on. I don't care. I don't care why. I'm not here to give the why. I'm just explaining the what, okay?
I know.
Yeah.
I know that's
I can't
true.
do the why unless we're going to talk for days and you're going to let me figure out what the fuck is happening, okay? So
Psychoanalyze me, daddy.
yeah. Okay. But the so I think that you have an understanding of a lot of what you're talking about, but like when pushed and prodded, it can be hard to defend some of the things you're talking about. So in like a very aggressive, very hardcore conversation, it's easy for you to get kind of like bullied around, I think. Okay?
You know what I think is happening is I think that to Max I'm
you're
his
just-
mother, and to me he's my mother.
Well, no, I think that you look up to him a lot and you have a lot of respect for him, and you might even see some similarities between the two
Barely.
of
That
you.
is no longer true.
Your
Okay.
assumption of good faith on her part, everything she's saying, you're just handing her this on a silver platter. You realize that?
Max,
I am not
will you
handing anybody
relax?
anything. Wait, how could everybody call me a simp for everybody all the time? Stop!
If you like women, instant simp.
No, I don't even like women, okay? Jesus. Okay.
Your building is
If you don't
That's more
demonize-
like it.
Okay. Max,
You're
I'm a
letting him
demonologist.
manipulate-
I
Max,
study women. I
here's
don't
your,
make
Max,
them. Okay.
Here's your problem, okay? You have this uncanny ability to hyper
insufficient
uncharitably
gold.
pinpoint, pincer, and destroy
Nice to
any
meet
amount
you.
of weakness detected
On your
whatsoever,
mark, I'll give it a
uncertainty,
shot.
in another person's argument. And you're adept enough at maneuvering the arguments in such a way that it actually almost seems obvious that you are the correct one when you're saying things that are so incorrect. So, for instance, the idea that you could formulate this, oh, so if a partner notices someone else is upset, they're going to rob that person of agency and punish them for their emotions by withdrawing from an aggressive manner to show them that if they ever emotionally dysregulate, they're going to be put in an even more negative state by their partner, essentially stonewalling. Like, that is an unbelievably ridiculous formulation of
That's
saying,
a straw man. That's not
no,
what I said.
that
I
is
would like to-
verbatim. Hold
I would
on.
like to. I would like to respond. I would
You
like
can
to
respond once I'm done,
I'd
but
like to
that is
respond.
verbatim
Okay.
what you said.
You
And
don't
that
get
was
to
in
clarify.
response. Hold on.
let's
And that
put
is
a
in
pin in
response.
that.
Yeah, you can. I'll
You
get to
don't get to
respond. You get to
clarify.
respond. Shut up, Lav. You done. Stop. I'm the moderator. Okay.
I'm not weak anymore.
I don't.
You don't
ca-
get
yeah.
to clarify
Stop.
Max.
Okay. But I'm just saying that is verbatim what you said. There is literally nothing wrong with saying like, hey, even this aggressively, hey, I think you're getting really upset. I'm just going to take like an hour step back and then we can revisit this conversation. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I would actually take it one step further. And I would argue that you are abusive, or it is an abusive behavior to say, I'm emotionally dysregulated right now. You're not allowed to leave this conversation because you think that I'm emotionally dysregulated. And by doing so, you're actually being more abusive to me. That is an insane step forward to Darvo that around into making the other person out to be the abuser when they might just say like, hey, I think I should take a step back because it seems like you're getting really upset. Okay, that's my, go ahead.
Okay. I agree that it is abusive to tell somebody that they cannot leave a conversation and take space for themselves when they want to. I agree with that as well. So I'm not saying one way or the other. I feel like you're oversimplifying this to create this sort of thing, which is fine.
Wait.
But I think
can I respond to that
what I was saying-
oversimplifying, and then you can say everything you want, okay? I agree with you that my process could have been oversimplified, but it sounds like what you do is you do two things at once. You introduce, so like somebody will bring up a topic that might be like the number 10. Hold on. And what you'll do is you will immediately expand the nuance of what they said to, it could be anywhere from 5 to 15. And then you say it's 5. That's what you do. So here's a direct example of doing that. You might say something like, okay, so somebody might say something like,
Wait, before you characterize
fuck.
something else.
Hold
on, wait, I have like,
Can I just finish? Can I respond to the last one you did? And
no,
then you can do
because
this
this is a
one?
direct example, and then you can respond to this and the last thing. Okay, this is a direct example of something
Oh
you did.
God,
right?
it's like a 2-on-1. I'm arguing.
No,
with
it's
two
I
people,
just
but they're both
criticized her.
you.
Okay,
they're
go
both,
ahead.
but they're both you. I'm
No,
arguing
they're
with two
not.
destinies
Okay,
at the
go.
same time.
Okay, just go. Say, respond to what you
Everyone's
want.
telling me that I'm you, so I don't know
No,
who am I.
No, no one is anybody. We're all each other here. Okay, go ahead, Max. Respond to the other thing you wanted to say. Go ahead.
Goddess light my path.
You said just now that I said that it's abusive to end a conversation because the other person is getting too upset.
Yes, you said it could be. Yeah.
Standing guard.
It
Upgrade
could be, yes. That's different from saying that it is.
But
And
you
then you
went
act
on
like
that
it-
road
that's what we were
basically
engaged
acting
I would like
like
to just finish what I'm saying before you both start talking at the same fucking time.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Now the ultra nuance
So-
is coming back though. I like this. That's good. If we want to make it more nuanced,
Good.
that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
Great. Okay. Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
Goddess
Okay, so you can imagine a relationship where I don't ever want Shaylin to express herself.
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
like it when Shaylin expresses herself. I don't want to listen to her talk about her feelings. So whenever she talks about her feelings, I do something to fix it. But fix it in quotes. Because I'm not really fixing anything. All I'm doing is placating her so I don't have to deal with her feelings. And you can imagine that one of the things, and obviously from the way I'm talking about it, I'm very opposed to this idea and this model of relationship.
Yes,
This
because it's in
terri-
your
this is
metaverse.
Lav, shut the fuck up.
Okay,
This is a very terrifying
Go, Max,
proposition
finish.
for me. Okay, so this is a very terrifying proposition for me. So that's why I'm saying when you say so innocently, like, oh, why don't you just end the conversation because she's getting clearly dysregulated? I'm saying not that that is inherently abusive. That's the straw man that you're saying. I'm saying you need to consider that there is no simple, easy answer to this.
Okay, and listen,
That
and
is
I'm
a
telling you
double,
that
and I
I-
believe I used the phrase double-edged sword,
No, you didn't.
which
No, you didn't.
implies,
No, you didn't.
which
You're
well, I
gaslighting
think
me.
I did.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
So,
I,
wait, hold on,
I
real
thought
quick.
I did.
If you want to be
let
nuanced,
me say it now.
If you I don't care now because now it doesn't matter. If you want to be nuanced right now, and I think you will be because I think I have a thorough understanding of
I
these
think
topics.
I was
Wait, let me
nuanced
just,
before.
I'll just finish. Let me just finish. You guys talk so much. Okay, you are being very nuanced now, and I appreciate that. That's good. But it sounded like earlier we were getting into the like, you can't define how good or bad something is based on the intent. The fact that you'd even say the intent matters there makes you an abuser because everybody has their own intent in their mind. Like, that's how hard you went.
No.
Now you're
No,
saying,
that's-
well,
Yes,
no,
it
no,
is.
Okay,
that
let me
is-
explain that. Then let me
just-
explain that
let
other
me
thing.
finish
I'll explain
one
that.
fucking sentence, please.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you're saying what I said.
Yeah, and that because that is what you said. And you can go back and play
I
it. and
didn't
maybe-
say that.
You
No. I didn't say that.
Okay, well, it felt to me then, I might be retarded. It felt to me like you were blowing the nuance out to mean anything, and then boom, going to the least charitable possible thing, such that somebody saying maybe you can withdraw when things are getting dysregulated becomes that's a form of withdrawing and abusing your partner for expressing an emotion. That's what it felt like the conversation went. Now, maybe it was more nuanced, and everybody else just missed that, or I missed it, and she missed
Yes.
it, and a bunch
Yes.
of people in chat missed
Yes.
it. But that's,
Yes.
that,
Yes.
it
Yes.
seemed to me that that's
Yes.
what you were doing. But go ahead.
You may have seemed that way, but here's what I was actually saying.
Go for it.
When determining whether your own behavior is abusive, you cannot look to your own intent or your own narrative about yourself to determine whether that is the case. Because it is very possible that you are shutting down your partner because you don't want to deal with their feelings,
Sure,
but
possible.
telling yourself that it's because they can't handle their own feelings. And so you end up in this dynamic where potentially you, in the guise of helping them self-regulate, are actually just shutting them down and refusing to listen to them talk about their feelings. I'm not saying that every time you take space from a conversation that you're doing that. I'm just saying that that's what it would look like and what it would feel like and what you
You
would
made it
tell
the more
yourself
likely
is,
point.
and what you would end up telling yourself is
I
is
agree
a
that
story
that's
like
possible.
well, my therapist said it was a good idea for me to go take a walk every time the blah blah
And I
blah,
agree.
and so I'm doing that for self-care. But so my whole point is not about the individual behavior in the conflict. It's about
meta
determining
hypothetical.
whether or it's about how you are defining these things and the thought process you use to define them. And if you always look to yourself and your own
understand that.
intentions
I
to
understand.
decide whether you're being abusive, then you will be. Not necessarily then, but 100% you will end up being abusive. And if when somebody says, I think you're abusive, and you say, oh, I asked my abuse victim, according to you, I asked my abuse victim if I'm being abusive, and they said, no, I'm not.
And I
Then-
had a gun to his head.
Okay,
I
and you
said,
can do this. You can
Tell me if I'm
hold on.
abusive.
You can
It doesn't.
Everything you're
guarantees you're an
saying is
abuser if you
somewhat
think that
valid.
way.
I don't necessarily disagree. Well, I do actually, because you can determine if your own behavior is abusive. There is a line of questioning with a third party that can help you figure that out, or with yourself if you really want to be honest.
With a third party,
Sure.
not
Or-
with your victim and not with yourself. Though.
Potentially, sure.
I told you my therapist
but
was my third
regardless,
party.
regardless, all I'm saying is that it feels like if you want to take a more blown out, nuanced look at it now, that's fine. But it feels like earlier, if you feel weakness in the water, you'll start to hone in on these things that somebody will say, like, you're intent. Well, you don't know you're intent. And then you completely, throw aside, like, a basic statement, like, oh, well, you know, like, maybe you can pull back if your partner is becoming dysregulated. Oh, well, isn't that abusive? Well, not if you don't intend for it to be abusive. And then it's like, oh, she said if you don't intend to be abusive? Oh, well, bitch, can't you know that you can't possibly know your own intent? If you're the, and you just like, and that becomes the hyper fixation for like the next like 5 minutes. You're like, holy shit, like, I don't think she would probably even disagree that like,
that is
yeah, it's
total
probably,
bullshit.
Okay, well, sorry, that's what it felt like to me.
You know, it's total bullshit
And
because you're
me,
ignoring
so
the
it turns out that
context.
me and
You're-
Steven are
you're-
retards?
Wait, what am I ignoring the context of?
The context was that she called into my show and said that she trains her fiance just like I train Shaylin, that we're the same and that we're basically, we're psychologically training our partners. I said this was disturbing and I think this is like, it sounds like
Okay,
you're
let's go,
controlling.
actually, hold on, let's challenge that. Wait, what do you mean by
And
that specific? What part of that is
everything,
disturbing?
every fucking thing she says makes me think she's abusive.
Sure, what part of that, wait, no,
but now
what
you're
part
doing
of that is-
switcheroo. Where's,
I'm not
wait,
doing this
you're
switcheroo,
doing
I'm
a
just
switcheroo.
asking you. What part of that is
you're doing a
abusive? What
switcheroo.
part of that is abusive?
I want
what part of that is
to finish
abusive?
what I'm saying
I don't want you to
really
finish
quick,
because I'm
and
going to
then
ask you because no matter
I
what you
know.
say, I'm going to ask you the same question. What part of that is abusive?
That's fine. I'm not. It's not just for you. I just want to hear myself. Okay. You're doing a switcheroo where, yes, it's a constellation of behaviors that I think add up to abuse. So then I'm saying I already have the sense that she's abusive. I called her abusive before she got on the call. She got on the call and I called her abusive. I called her abusive last night. I think you're abusive. Lav, I think you're abusive. And then when she says something, I'm saying, here's an example of you being abusive. This is an abusive way of thinking. Now, Steven, you're reversing that and saying, oh, so everybody who thinks that way is abusive? No. No, I'm not. It's like I'm saying that she's like a cat.
Gotcha.
And I'm
Okay,
saying,
can
look,
I-
she has
now
a,
let me
she has
just-
a tail, and you're like, everything has a tail as a cat.
I don't need
No.
analogies. I'm already like, you're already talking so much. You don't need to throw 15 analogies on the end of it. Jesus Christ. Okay, so back to the very first thing you said. You said that training your partner, that sounds abusive. Why the fuck would you assume that that's abusive?
I think it can be.
Because
It can be.
Because it sounded like she was putting herself in this role of power.
Can I tell?
No,
can
you
I-
can't tell anything.
partner's
Go.
behavior.
Sorry.
Of controlling her partner's behavior with a stick and a carrot, rather than asking for what you want or describing what you want, trying to make your partner behave in a way you want.
Okay, do you acknowledge that in
by training.
every single relationship, that is what everybody does? You are constantly, in a way, controlling your partner's behavior. That's what a relationship is. Both of you are doing things that is heavily influencing the other person's behavior. And that there are ways
Absolutely.
to, quote unquote, train your partner that are super fine. For instance, if
Yes.
Melina really likes it when I give her compliments, if every time I say, oh, hey, you're really pretty, she orders me a small hot chocolate, that's a way to, quote unquote, train your partner. There's
Yes.
absolutely nothing abusive about that.
I
Now,
think that,
there
I
could
think
be
that this
abusive
is
forms.
I think you're being a little overly charitable here.
No, I'm
because-
not being charitable. What
Well,
I'm saying.
let me explain
just
why.
talk for, I can't even. I let you finish your whole irrelevant tangent. You're
Because
gonna let me-
you are smuggling. You're
I'm not
pre-smuggling
smuggling
something into the
anything.
premise.
I'm being so.
I think you absolutely are.
No,
I
can
think you're fucking smuggling something
can't-
in. I would like to say what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
You're the moderator,
it
Steven.
quickly?
You decide if you want me to talk, I won't talk. You're muted.
Can he decide that?
Am I allowed to? Can I finish my statement? Okay.
Yes.
So, yes. Okay. So the issue
the
is
moderator.
that anything could be meant by training your partner. So if I hear, and this is an observation that I made, okay, in that conversation, is that it feels like sometimes you're very quick to key in on the least charitable interpretation instead of just asking a clarifying question. So if somebody says something to me that sounds really sus, let's say I'm talking to a guy or a girl and they're like, yeah, you know, I had a lot of problems, and then I started training my partner, now shit works great. So there's two ways I can respond. I could do the max way, where I would go, training your partner is actually a form of abuse, and you are the most abusive person ever. Or I could say, hold on, when you say train your partner, like, well, what do you mean by that? Explain that, expand on it. And then, because the problem is, here's what happens. Because I would ask the question, and then I would know what they mean, and then I go from there. You would make that narrow assumption, and then somebody like me would come in afterwards, and they would go, well, hold on, Max, you're making a very narrow assumption about what training your partner means. And you say, well, no, actually, Destiny, you're being narrow by assuming that's not what it's not. I'm actually taking a more nuanced view of it by saying that it could be that thing. And it's like, okay, you're not just saying that it could be that thing, though. You're saying it could be, and then you're running with that most, like, the least charitable interpretation of what it could possibly be. If you wanted to be nuanced, you could say training your partner could be bad, or it could be good. I need you to explain what you mean by that. But that's not what you do. You take the least charitable position, and then you hammer that fucking home, and any divergence from that in your mind becomes like further evidence of the person actually doing it, and they don't even want to engage in the topic. That's what you do. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I think that you, one, it's unfair for you, or an argument for you to ignore the fact that if you're saying everybody trains everybody, then what do you think it means when she gets on the call and says, I'm just like you, just...
No,
I don't want. No,
then you
we're
go.
talking about how I interpreted it.
Yeah. Okay, go.
I'm saying that it's a little unfair for you to say that I should have interpreted her statement of I train my fiance just like you train Shaylin.
Both
You're
of you
saying,
are right.
Lav, stop. I just need you to shut up.
Just chill.
Okay?
Go.
Obviously, if she's saying that, she's saying I train my partner more than the average person. So it would be hyper charitable and kind of make it seem like these women have you wrapped around their finger if you were to take that statement and say, well, maybe she just means everybody trains everybody. No, that's obviously not what she means.
Wait,
so I'm going to
not...
interpret it. I'm going to interpret it in a way where she means she trains her partner in that framing applies to her relationship more than the average
Before you guys
relationship.
argue what I mean, can I tell you
No,
what
we're not
I
arguing about what you
it's
mean.
not
We're
about what you
arguing
mean. It's
whether
about how he
reasonable.
should have. It's how he should have proceeded the
How I
conversation.
interpret it.
Actually,
No, but I
Okay.
think both of you. I think that what both of you guys are saying.
Lav.
I think that Max, it is valid that you took that from what I said.
Oh,
but also
great.
You're missing
But
the
that,
point.
no,
You're
but I
missing
want
the
to say,
point.
I want to respond. Listen, he just said a whole thing. I got to respond to it real quick. Then you can talk.
Can
Is
you
that cool?
can you stand
Steven,
not
can we get a
listening to
little
yourself
moderation
talk
here?
for like a second?
Can we get a little
Can I-
moderation here, buddy?
I'm just watching.
Can I just clarify?
Okay,
what I
Lav,
said?
go.
Yeah, you're
real
just
quick.
watching,
Okay.
exactly.
Lav,
Yeah,
clarify.
when
No,
Lav
no,
talks, you're
go.
just watching,
20
and when I
seconds.
talk, you're fucking
No,
moderating.
that's not
What
true.
is
I've
that?
led both. You are
It is.
both interrupting like
You told me
crazy.
to shut up also.
Yeah, go. Okay, Lav,
should
go.
talk
Get your
now.
go. Lav, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, go.
Oh my god.
What I was saying when I entered the call basically was like I noticed that you do this thing where maybe it feels like you are training your partner so that they can take care of you. And I feel like oftentimes I do that. I see myself in that. I oftentimes try to, bait my partner into doing things so that they have to take care of me. Or so they can be a person who can take care of me. Obviously, that's not something I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do this forever. It was just something I've noticed in myself, and I noticed that you probably do as well. And I was just telling you that, or asking you if maybe that was something that you resonated with. And then you were like, this bitch is fucking devil spawn.
Well, it wasn't just that. So that's the other thing I want to say to you, Steven, is that you asked me, I think you both have kind of asked me, why do I think Lav is abusive? But every time I list one thing, you both jump down my throat and start talking non-stop until the subject is changed. It's like neither of you want me to actually articulate why I think she's abusive or how I reached that conclusion.
Yeah, the reason why
so I can walk you through it probably in under 30 seconds. Why
you've
I think
already
she's
okay.
abusive.
So hold on. I don't care. Like,
But you keep pinpointing.
wait, hold on, wait, let
jumping
me
on
just,
each.
let me just think. Okay, listen.
You keep jumping on each individual thing and saying, well, that alone. We already did the cat and the tail
Here's
analogy.
what
I
I'm-
hope
here's
I don't
what
have
I'm
to break
trying to
that.
do.
I hope I don't have to repeat the cat and the tail analogy. But you just did the same fucking thing again, so maybe I do have to repeat it because I said she started out the conversation by saying she trains her spouse or fiance the way I train Shaylin, and then you're like, oh, well, yeah, but you can interpret that a million ways. But I'm saying that is one of like 10,000 data points that I've received, and they all spell out abuser.
Gotcha.
in
Okay,
big
so
fucking
here's
letters.
so from my perspective, okay, you do not. I know that you don't know enough about this other person to know if they're an abuser or not, based on
I
that
do.
conversation. I know for a fact.
No,
you
I
don't.
do.
So when I'm
I know
asking
for a
you,
fact that I do.
What I know you don't. So when I'm asking you why you think they're an abuser, I'm
know
just
I
trying
do.
to figure out like how you're reading the situation. I don't actually care about your rationale because I know that you can't possibly have that much information. From a 1-hour call from somebody that's nervous calling in a program, there's no
Yes.
possible way that you can
Yes,
ascertain
100%.
the absolute.
No,
I'm
he's God.
100%.
No,
I'm
no,
100.
Steven, you
I'm
don't
100.
understand
It's not because
he's
I'm
God.
God. It's because you're fucking saying you are saying you do abusive shit, and from interacting with you, I can feel.
They
how
have, but they
you
haven't
think and how
given
act.
you. But by your own admission, they haven't given you anything that is 100%. That's an abuser.
Yes,
thing.
it is. Well, then maybe we have different definitions of abuse.
Okay, wait.
but
What
I-
is? Okay, then
but
fine.
you-
Then let's go through it. Go ahead. What? Give me like the 100%, the big ones. Lead with your big guns. What are the? Oh, she
Okay.
said that. I know she's an abuser. Go.
saying that she, it's actually most of it is how she is interacting with me. So doing things like bringing up my mother, then bringing up my mother again, but saying that she's not bringing up my mother and that she's doing it as an apology. If you don't hear a like weird, sadistic, underhanded, obviously trying to provoke me again, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I know that it hurt you. She's
Okay, what else? Don't give me analogies or don't waste time. What else?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The framing of I get to decide. This is a big one. I decide whether I'm an abuser. And so she's not going to say that's what she's doing, but if you follow every train of thought, it always comes down to my intent. I think this, and I asked this person, I asked this person. They said that you can never proclaim yourself to not be an abuser. You can never for sure know that you're not an abuser because your abuse is always going to be in your blind spot. Anybody who says I 100% know I'm not an abuser because I don't think of myself one is going to be an abuser. You also clearly wear the pants in your relationship, and you clearly want it that way. Okay, I think you clearly do. I also think that you're in the
okay, wait, okay, stop.
Yes.
What else, Mr. Girl? What else?
What
other things?
Again, this is another like
I just want you to know that. I just
want
you to know that if I need to walk 100 steps to clarify that she's an abuser, so far you've gotten me 0 steps of the way there with what you've given me so far.
Okay.
So what else do you have?
Telling me, she told me to set a boundary that my girlfriend can't cry in her own office.
Nope.
When I asked her for, and now she's saying that she didn't do that, so we know she's a liar too.
Okay, so this is how.
You literally, wait, let me finish. When I pressed her on what that means,
it was about you. It was you.
Lav.
Wait, let Mr. Girl finish. Go ahead.
The more, okay, this is another point of data that she can't listen to somebody articulate why they think she's abusive without derailing fucking conversation every 5 seconds.
You do the same thing with me. Are you abusing me in this conversation?
No.
Interesting.
Okay, just.
I'm not doing the same thing as you.
Well, but wait, if you were an abuser, you wouldn't know, though,
I asked you. I
to
said.
be clear,
I
wait, hold on.
I
I need you to admit that, Max. If you were an abuser, you wouldn't know, though, right?
If I was an abuser, I wouldn't know.
Okay, so you can't really say that because you would never say I 100% know I'm not being abusive because
no, I'm just saying if you want to list the reasons you think I'm abusive, I can sit and listen to them.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying be careful not to walk into your own.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Okay, go next part.
Okay. This took about 20 minutes, which also is a bad sign in itself, but I spent about 20 minutes saying, let's role play what you mean by setting a boundary with Shayna about her crying, because I don't get what you mean. And when we role played, what she came up with was, if you cry in your office, and I think it's because you're trying to get my attention, I may need to withdraw from you emotionally or physically. That is literally, I think, word for word.
That's close enough. Yeah, that's good.
Said.
That's close enough. Go ahead. Okay, keep going. What else?
Okay. When I say things that she said word for word, she said.
Just keep going. No. Just go to the next thing. Go to the next one.
No, that is that. I'm saying that literally is a thing. I'm saying she's being abusive in the conversation right now, and you don't see it. You just give her a fucking pass for everything she says. Everything she says is changing the subject, obfuscating, makes no fucking sense at all, is underhanded, sneaky. Oh my God. You know what you need to do? You need to get a voice filter so that changes her voice into Booksmart's voice, and then I need you to listen back to the same conversation. You would be moderating the fuck out of everything she says, but because she's a woman, for some reason, you just let her fucking get away with all of this shit. It's insane. It is the cover you provide for her is insane.
Okay, can I give some explanations and then you can just tell me if these are fucking wild, off the wall? You can tell me if it's possible.
Wait. Let me scan my brain real quick and make sure that was all the big guns. Did you ask for the big guns? Telling her she can't cry in her own office. I think that was the one where I officially started calling you an abuser.
Gotcha. Okay.
You mean the thing that I didn't say?
No. Okay. Hold on. Don't worry. Okay. So the first part.
Wait. Steven, do you agree that she said that or not?
I think that it was meant in a way different way than you put it. It sounded to me like.
Do you think?
It sounded to me like when she said it, it sounded like she was saying that the boundary is you can't go into your office to cry just to get attention. If that's like an intentional thing.
It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that.
However, I want to ask Steven how he interpreted it. You're saying you can't go into your office and cry just to get attention from it.
Yes.
Do you think that's a reasonable boundary to set?
Absolutely reasonable. That is one of the most reasonable things I've ever
Let's role play. Let's role play.
Okay, sure.
I'll be Shaylin.
Dude,
yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. No, shut the fuck up. I'm big boy. Okay, let's role play.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I've come out of my office after sobbing loudly, or I'm in my office sobbing loudly. What do you do?
I'm gonna say, hey, listen. If I feel
Wait,
like
wait. How are you saying that? I'm in my office.
just like I'm saying. Wait, what do you mean? You just said you came out.
You're
Did
gonna
you
say
not
it through
you
the
came
door?
out?
What are you gonna do?
Oh,
You're in the
I
living
thought
room.
you said
and
you.
I'm
I
in-
thought you just said I came out.
No,
of
no.
my
Let's
office
start.
and
Let's
cried.
start with me in the office.
Oh,
I
you're
wanna
in
see
the
what-
office and you're crying.
Yeah.
Do
Yes.
I have any really loud Bluetooth speakers?
Yes.
I'm gonna play some music. I'm gonna see if you cry louder. So I'm gonna turn my music up. Do you cry louder or does it stay at the same volume?
Let's say it stays the same.
Okay. I'll play some music until you're done crying.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. What if I cry louder?
You cry louder, turning my speaker off, and I'm leaving. I'll be back in 2 hours. But you're probably gonna text me like 2 seconds after I leave, and we'll probably talk. But I'll leave the house. I'll say that. Turn my speaker off. I'm gonna leave the house.
Okay. So, I think that this is a pretty reasonable response
Okay.
because you're not really setting a boundary that I can't cry in my office to get your attention. You're
could
just
take it
saying
that way.
I could take it that way, but I think what I would interpret what you just did in that story as you're saying, I'm just not going to listen to it.
No.
You can cry all you want in your office,
It's a
but I don't
stronger
have to hear
statement.
it.
It's I'm not going to appease this sort of attention-seeking behavior. That you're trying to get some amount of warmth or compassion from me in a time when you're upset with me, and that's not the dynamic that I can handle. So I would leave in that circumstance, and I would say that
Yeah,
if
I
there's a
think
time
that's-
when you're
I think
upset, sure, that's fine, but that's a boundary saying that like I'm not going to handle you having an emotional outburst while also trying to get warmth or comfort from me at the same time. That's not a boundary.
Yeah, but yes, that's totally. I think that's totally fine.
Okay.
I said that.
Well, I don't know if it's
Said
totally
that.
fine, but it's not abusive.
Okay.
No, that's different from what you said.
Go
You
watch
said-
the video again. I said that verbatim.
You said that I should set a boundary around her not being allowed to cry in her
No.
office.
No, you made that up out of fucking thin air.
Okay, do you remember when we did the role play?
Yes, and I just said exactly what Steven said to you, but because it's coming out of a man's mouth, it's different.
No.
Makes sense.
In our role play, we had a whole conversation. In my role play with Steven, we didn't even talk about it. We just did it. You do not see the difference between those two?
I guess I don't. No.
Insufficient.
One, if I'm crying in my office, I'll leave it because Steven leaves the house. I might not even know that happened. Like, all I know is he's.
Oh, you're gonna know what
He is-
happens because I'm gonna turn the speaker off, and I might even say. You'll know I've left.
I don't think that's abuse. I think
That's
that, I
abuse.
don't,
No, that's abuse.
no, I don't think it's
That's
abusive.
weapon. You just said that was abusive 20 fucking minutes ago when you are weaponizing space. So you need to stick to your fucking framework, even though
We
this
didn't
is your
talk about
boyfriend
leaving the
talking.
house. Wait, we didn't talk about leaving the house 20 minutes ago.
Are you fucking kidding me?
We talked about
Max,
again.
you
I
are
just
living
made
in
this
a
distinction.
different conversation than me and Steven are.
I'm in my
Like,
own.
can-
Don't group me in with you. I'm in my own
I-
conversation, watching all of you.
I want you to think about these two different scenarios. One is you're crying in your office and you come out and I'm not home, and then I come home a couple hours later.
And that
I
could
think
also
I
be
do.
sad.
What?
I think
Yeah, I
that
don't think
could
that's.
be sad
I don't think
if
that's.
that was the
Yeah,
answer.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't think that's abusive. What I do think is abusive is me saying, "Hey, I heard you crying, and I think you're crying because you want my attention." And then you say, and we did this in the role playing. You say,
And
"That's
that
not
really
why I'm
triggers
crying." I want you to listen to what I'm saying because you're doing it again. You're lying. In our conversation when we were role playing, I was Shaylin and I said, "No, I wasn't trying to get your attention." And then you said, "Well, I think that you were, and if you keep doing that, I'm going to have to withdraw from you emotionally or physically for some period of time to regulate myself."
I think that the difference is that I'm a little bit older, so I go to test rather than ask for it. So, for instance, it sounds like if I was a
But-
younger man, I might not say, "You're trying to get my attention." But as an older person, I wouldn't do that. I'd turn the music up and see if they got louder, and then if they did, I'd shut it up. And leave.
Well, yeah, I think the testing is kind of weird. I just don't think it's abusive. What I think is abusive is sending
Is
the
what I'm
person
doing.
is when you are telling the person. I think it's psychologically invasive to tell the person, "I am listening to you crying, and I am auditing why you're crying." and even if you don't agree with my version of why you're crying, when I think you're crying for this reason, I am going to withdraw from you.
I'm
emotionally.
communicating, but
that's not what I
I'm
was
communicating. Hold on,
saying.
Lav. Stop being disagreeing just because of what he's saying, because that is what you're saying. Okay.
No,
but
it's
I
not.
would be. It is. I would communicate the exact same
Wait,
thing with my
no,
actions.
no, let her
No,
contradict
she's
you.
worried that she's
Let her
getting
lie.
trapped. Oh my God. Okay.
You're fixing it, but this is what I'm saying is you keep digging her out of all
I'm
of
not
the
digging
behaviors
her
that I'm
out,
saying
it's
are
just you
abu-
phrase
Yes,
things
you
so
are.
aggressively
You're
that
saying, you keep saying like, well, here's what I think she would say if she were a little older. What you really mean is, here's what she would say if she weren't completely full of shit and
No,
contradicting herself.
it's not that she's full of shit. It's that you're phrasing it in the most aggressive way possible, so it sounds really
Let
bad. And
her
okay,
then let
fine,
her
go.
speak for
All right.
herself.
Good,
Let her
good luck,
speak
Lav.
for
You're gonna
herself.
swim, sink or swim. Good or die. Good luck. Think carefully about what you're saying, and don't be so afraid of owning things that sound bad. Because in relationship conflicts, there are going to be
I'm not
times when there's no
afraid-
easy.
No, I'm
Okay,
not
all right,
afraid
go
of
for
owning
it. Then
something
go.
that sounds bad.
Okay, go.
It's not about that she can't cry. It's just that you need to acknowledge. It's not even about Shaylin. It's that you need to acknowledge the response in yourself and see if it would be emotionally beneficial to keep yourself in that situation or not. Not even like take abuse away. You need to look about whether or not it would be emotionally beneficial for you mostly, but also for Shaylin, to continue going.
Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. The thing that I think that you said that makes you abusive is lording the power of the definition over your partner and saying you have to agree that that you're doing this thing that I think you're doing, and if you don't agree with it, and if you don't agree to stop it, I'm going to withdraw from you emotionally.
Okay, can I ask
When you
in my
frame it
wait, can I
in
ask in my situation, how am I not doing exactly that? I'm just conveying it with my actions.
The story you told.
Wait,
the
let
way-
Max. Wait, hold on. Let Max respond. Go.
The way you told the story just makes it sound like you're not saying you have to agree with me about why you're doing this. You're just saying I don't want to be in the house that you're doing this.
No, no. Wait, stop. Let me just do this. Okay, hold on.
I understand with the
No,
testing.
shut the
you-
fuck up. No. When I leave the house because my partner is crying, Max, okay? Unless you have terminal autism and you can't understand this, okay? I am telling you that for whatever fucking reason you're crying, I don't give a fuck because I think it's either illegitimate or it's manipulative. You must
Yes,
understand.
that
yes.
is why it's not abusive. That is the difference. Because you are not telling your partner that they have to agree with your narrative of what's happening. You're just saying, I don't want to deal with this, so I'm out. Whatever the fuck the reason is.
no.
You literally just said, I don't
you're-
give a fuck why you're doing this.
No,
Do you see how that is different?
No, you're
wait,
wrong.
Wait, wait.
I have to fin- you're-
Let me
you're- no,
respond.
because if
Bro.
no,
Steven.
I am communicating that for whatever reason they're crying, I don't think that reason is legitimate. Okay,
That phrase, for whatever reason, is what makes it different.
No, you're getting hung up on the wrong part of the phrase because if,
I'm the one saying why I think it's abusive.
hold
That
on.
makes it not abusive,
If-
and I would like to explain why.
Okay, you can explain right after I say what my piece. Okay, if my partner got a call that their dad had just gotten killed in an accident, and then they went in their room and then they were crying, and I did the same set of behaviors, I blasted my music and then I slammed the door and I left, that would be fucked up. But it's because I'm not leaving.
It would be fucked up.
Yes, but so what is happening? But I obviously wouldn't do that, and my partner probably knows I wouldn't do that. But if they were screaming just to get my attention, I probably would just leave. So by leaving, I am making a declaration that the particular reason why you are crying and screaming right now is not legitimate to me, and I'm not going to do it. Whether I say that in a conversation, I go, knock, knock, hey, letting you know if you're gonna cry like this, like, I'm not cool with that, right? Whether I knock and tell them, or whether I walk the fuck out of the apartment, I'm communicating the exact same thing with either my actions